So I did a video the other day talking about the movies, the upcoming movies for the James Gunn era, and one of them is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And it says it's the next solo film of Superman's cousin Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, based on Tom King's comic run of the same name. And I'm a huge fan of Tom King, but I had not heard of this series. Maybe I did, and I just, for whatever reason, didn't pick it up. But the series is done, and so they do have the compilation here. I like hardcover, but all they had was paperback. So what I was going to do was I was going to read through the whole thing and then discuss it, but I think there's actually enough material here. I don't think I can talk about every issue, but I'm going to break this up into multiple videos. So when the story starts, well, let me step back for a moment and just mention. So on Comic Book Roundup, it's an aggregate site. It's like Rotten Tomatoes for comic books. It looks like there was just 8 issues, and so we start off with a 7.8, which is not that great, and then it rises up to a 9.2. The average was 8.4, and the average user rating was 7.8. I generally find the user ratings to be more accurate than the professional reviewers. So 7.8 is not bad, but it's not fantastic. So when the story starts off, it's a little confusing as to where we are, because it seems that we have a woman narrating the story about her father, who had taken in some stranger named Krem, and after a brief argument, Krem ends up stabbing him and killing him, and you can see he leaves the sword there, which apparently was a very nice sword. So the woman is a little bit perplexed as to why he would leave such a valuable sword here. Now, I will say that I think the writing is fantastic. I like the art. But we get into some problems, and so I'm gonna talk about that, because writing, there's a lot of different aspects to writing. There's characterization, there's just dialogue, and there's plot. And I think the plot is the main problem here. So it's clearly not Earth. It seems to be some kind of a medieval level society, but not Earth. So we get into here, and she's hunting for the man who killed her father, because she wants to take revenge for the death of her father. And I'm not going to avoid spoilers, so just know that. And early on, she mentions that they finally do meet Krem, and she comes across Supergirl. They meet Krem and kill him. So we haven't even apparently gotten even close to that, but she's already kind of revealed the ending. So she goes out and she's looking to hire maybe a bounty hunter or someone, and she comes across this large fellow, and she offers the sword after he has killed Krem. And the rather large fellow is just like, he's like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of him, and I'm going to take the sword too. And she says, give me the sword back until you kill Krem. And he just backhands her. He says, don't worry, I'll take care of it, but I'm taking your sword. So he's going to leave, and he comes across another woman who is clearly drunk, and she says, give the woman the sword back. And so they end up getting in a little bit of a fight, and she does not seem to be the least bit concerned, and she says in there a few times, it's my birthday. And so we could see in there, it's revealing that she is Supergirl, and yet seems to be fighting like a regular person. And so he hits her, and she's bleeding. And she says, forgot the stupid red sun. I don't know how she would forget that. So what it turns out is that Supergirl wanted to celebrate her birthday by getting drunk. But because she's a Kryptonian, she can't do it on Earth. So she travels in a spaceship to a planet with a red sun and gets drunk in a bar in some medieval age, which seems she's supposed to be 21. Um, really silly for Supergirl. But despite the fact that she has no superpowers, she fairly easily takes care of this apparently seasoned fighter. And I don't like this stuff. And I've seen it before with Superman, where he's depowered, but he's still like just a regular tough human being. And in my opinion, if a superpowered Kryptonian lost their powers, they would be completely out of their element. And but apparently not. Even though she's 21 and drunk and completely depowered, she's still tough. It reminds me of a story I read years and years and years ago with a character named Sportsmaster. If nobody knows who Sportsmaster is, Sportsmaster, he's a non-powered supervillain, but and apparently he must be in other things because I guess he's still being used. Sportsmaster's he's one of these guys. He's kind of like Bullseye, except in his case, he's preternaturally talented at every sport. So there he is on skis. And in one comic book, one story, Green Lantern has to go against him in a series of sporting events without his ring. And he beat Sportsmaster in every event. And even as a kid, I did not like that because I'm like, that's Sportsmaster's whole thing. With Green Lantern without his ring, I understand like Green Arrow because he doesn't have superpowers that he would have to train his body, but it made it like Green Lantern didn't beat anybody, because if Sportsmaster can get beaten in every sporting event by a non-powered Green Lantern, then he's basically a joke. And I always feel that a hero is measured by the villains he defeats or the adversaries he defeats. And if you make Sportsmaster worthless, then who did he really beat? So anyway, she hooks up with this woman. Here she is. She's all hungover the next day because, again, she has no superpowers because she's under the red sun, which was her choice. So the woman meets up with her again, and she's a little bit stunned because given that they seem to be kind of a medieval level of technology, this spaceship is quite a bit bizarre for her. She doesn't really understand what she's seeing. And so they discuss for a while. She wants Supergirl to go with her to fight Krem. I mean, she's impressed that Supergirl was able to. She also thinks that Supergirl's wearing her underwear because her clothing is so odd. So Supergirl is there, and all of a sudden, boom, she gets hit right in the chest with an arrow. And it buries itself in her chest. We also later learn that it was a poison arrow. And so there's Krem, and there's the that other fellow, the bounty hunter, and now they're working together. And so Krypto comes up. He gets an arrow right in his neck, and then she gets let's see, a total of 3 in her chest as she's bleeding, and she beats the 2 of them up. Okay, so Krem, despite the fact that he looks like a very hardy, seasoned fighter, is left fleeing from the thrice-struck Supergirl, the 21-year-old Supergirl, and flees into her ship, and the ship takes off. And so he manages to get away as she is laying there on the ground with Krypto. So I guess maybe the question is, how did she not get, or how did she continue to fight with 3 arrows in her chest? And I would say through the power of bad plotting, bad scripting, because I have read further in here, and she just fights through it because she's that damn tough. I think if you had an arrowhead buried, 3 arrowheads buried in your chest, you'd be done. And you certainly, a 21-year-old girl is not going to be beating up 2 significantly larger guys. And I'm not loving the way he's handling Supergirl because she's kind of smug and kind of stupid for traveling to a red sun planet and to get drunk. on her birthday. And it's a little sad that she wants to spend birthday alone. Drunk. So this book got a 7.8, and I'm not sure I would have even given it that. I tell you, the writing is very good. The dialogue, her inner monologue is very good, and I was like, oh, this is quite good. And then we got even, all right, so she beats the one guy up. I'm like, okay. It was when this happened, and I'm like, is she partially? It's penetrating her theoretically. I mean, she generally has invulnerable skin, but not here. So I'm like, is she got some partial immunity? Because how is she not getting hurt? I mean, she's hurt, she's bleeding all over the place, but not so hurt that she can't just power through it. Don't you know who I am? I'm Supergirl. Yeah, okay. Actually, not really, since you're as tough as a regular human. Anyway, so not the greatest start. I have continued reading it, and I'm going to tell you that it's not getting better. So anyway, that's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King from this 2021 and 22 or something like that.